Here are 7 reasons why AI is such a big deal and why you should care. Reason number 1, AI will significantly change every single industry known to mankind. AI is going to affect every sector of the economy. So from in the healthcare industry to the oil and gas to every single industry that you can practically conceive is going to be changed significantly by AI. Now, has this ever happened before in the past? Yes, it has. And where did it happen? We saw it in the dot-com era. We saw it in the technological revolution. Now, back in the 90s, or back in the 80s or the 70s, back in the day, if you owned a business, probably depending on word of mouth, or it depended on your local newspaper to get the publicity out there for your new business. These days, after the dot-com era, all of a sudden, things like a website, things like an email that were just like ideas that were floating around, like having an email back in early 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004 seemed like a luxury, right? It seemed like something to have as a new thing. But now, if you're a business owner or you own a business or you're in any sector of the economy and your hospital doesn't have a website, your school doesn't have a website, or your school doesn't have an email address, it's practically inconceivable for you to be able to compete in today's economy if you do not have a digital footprint. And significantly, the world was changed with the internet and the technological revolution of having this new ability to communicate. And now think of it like this. Technology changed the world in that way, and now all of a sudden, every single industry right now has an IT department. Every single one. If you're a banking in the banking industry, there's the bankers need the IT department. If you're in oil and gas, you need the IT department. If you're in every single industry known to mankind, has been significantly changed with technology and has been significantly changed with the digitalization of today. Now, having said that, something similar, or if not more interesting, is exactly what's going to happen with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to change every single sector of the economy. It's going to significantly change every single industry known to mankind, as we have previously seen with the current digitalization of every single industry. Like I said before, if you're a business owner and you don't have an email address, you don't have a website, then you might as well say goodbye, or at least you could try, but your competitors or your competition that have those things are significantly going to out-hustle you or outperform you in every single metric that you're going to be able to measure. Now, that is one significant area where AI will definitely change every single industry known to mankind. Now, what will be an example of how AI does this? So think of this: you are a doctor, or you own a hospital, or you own a conglomerate of hospitals. Now, as an AI doctor or a human doctor can work, let's say, maybe 16 8-hour shifts or 2 8-hour shifts at the most. That's like if it's a long night, maybe you're doing neurosurgeon and you're doing like a long surgery, it takes so much time. But think of it like this: an AI doctor, an AI general physician can work 24 hours, 7 days a week without having to stop and no break, and give patients every single thing they ask for. So don't you see how that significantly changes the healthcare industry? If an AI doctor that was trained on a couple of data points, or trillions of data points, probably more informed than your average human doctor, and is running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, isn't that a game changer for that industry? Now extrapolate that further out for every single industry known to mankind. Now you start getting the gist of it, that it's going to significantly change every single industry known to mankind. As a matter of fact, I'll say like this: if you're an industry that does not infuse AI into his or her operations, sooner or later you're going to get out-hustled or outmatched by people that do. Now that brings me to point number 2. Reason number 2 why AI is such a big deal. The second reason why AI is such a big deal is that AI has the potential to make the world that we live in utopia, paradise, or hell. So it has the potential to either make the world paradise or hell. Now, that's very significant, because if the world is going to change, AI is going to change it. But how is AI going to change the world? Now, one of the ways this is very important for you to understand is that the very concept of artificial intelligence is modeled on human intelligence, and human intelligence suffers from the same problems that artificial intelligence suffers from. And this is not necessarily a problem; it's just a concept, or it's an occurrence in our humanity or in our nature. Whereas it's called the dual use research concern. I talked about it extensively in the previous episode. But the idea here is that when you are intelligent, you can either use your intelligence for good, or you can use it for evil. You can use it to either help people or you can use it to either destroy people. So same way, artificial intelligence is going to be able to either help people or destroy people. So AI is going to be able to help people make the world better, make producing things more interesting, make producing output, production, increase productivity, increase goods and services, increase all these different things and make them more abundant. But at the same time, it could be used to create weapons, create the most deadly viruses, could be used to destroy the world as we know it. So that's one of those dilemmas. Now, how is this going to be solved, or what does the future really hold? I'm an optimist at heart, so I would think that the future really leans towards it being able to create more resources, abundant resources for everyone, if the world becomes healthier and safer and happier because of artificial intelligence. But I'm a realist as well, and I think it's going to be a little bit of both, where the world is going to get better because of AI for some people, and the world is going to get significantly harder for other people because of AI. And that brings me to reason number 3, why AI is such a big deal. Reason number 3 why AI is such a big deal is because AI is going to significantly change the job market. Now, there are multiple studies about this, there are multiple conversations about this, but I'm not going to go into the grimy details of all the statistics or the scary statistics about, oh, it's going to change the job market, people are going to lose their jobs and all that. Now, of course, that's a fact, people are going to lose their jobs. But now let's get into why it's going to change the job market. So in my very first episode, I go into the explanation of what artificial intelligence is, and I'll do that further down the road again. But one of the things that artificial intelligence is, AI is the automation of human intelligence. Remember, intelligence occurring in nature, intelligence is your ability to acquire a skill, right? How quickly do you change? How quickly do you change your thought pattern? How do you acquire a skill? Now, if we are all intelligent beings because we acquire skills, artificial intelligence is man-made intelligence. Why is this so important? Artificial intelligence is the automation of human intelligence. So what that means is every single economically viable task performed by a human being can eventually be performed by an AI model that's trained to perform that task. So every single economically viable task that a human being can perform can be done by an AI model. So when I say economically viable, that's a fancy way of saying a job. Every single thing you do for money with your intelligence can be replicated by an AI model. Now let's start with the basics, right? Or not necessarily basics, basically depends on how you see the world. But let's see the role of a waiter or a waitress. Now you go into a restaurant, what do? They're supposed to help you get your order, make sure your food is ready, make sure you are well attended to, and care about pick up your plates and do all that stuff, and make sure they don't mix up your order in the restaurant, right? Now, an AI model can also do that. An AI-powered robot can also do that same task. It just needs to take down your order, make sure that the order is fulfilled, make sure that it brings the order to the right person. An AI model can do that exact same task, if not better, because a human being might forget the order. How many times have you ever been to a restaurant where somebody mixes up your order, or they even forget about the order, or they give you the order, you get home, if it's a delivery or a pickup, you get home and realize the order was messed up. With an AI model, the chances of that happening would be like 99.9%, like almost like zero chance of that happening, because it's a machine, it's not a human being that has other thoughts and other things that are distracting more. Because human beings can be affected. You can have your best waiter and maybe his girlfriend breaks up with him, or he's having a family situation, all of a sudden he's not on his P and Qs. Now, think of it from another perspective. An AI model is never going to have that kind of problem. An AI model is not going to have this kind of problems in any sense of the word. So that is one thing that makes it such a big deal. AI is going to significantly change the job market. Now, you can think of it from one to one, and this is where it also gets interesting. When AI changes the job market, AI takes away jobs, but doesn't give as many jobs back. Now, when I talked about earlier on about the technological revolution or the digital revolution, depends on what revolution you want to call it, you will see that a lot of jobs were taken, but they were also brought back. So you now started having opportunities like web designer, you have opportunities like, these days you hear things like email marketing. There are all these different opportunities that come with the advent of the digital revolution. But with AI, it's very interesting to know that there's going to be a very good chance that every single job that is taken might never be replaced in any form. Now, it's going to be a situation whereby 4 to 5 AI engineers can run a model that can replace the jobs of about 5 million people. That's one of the studies that's out there. And that's one, so that's one person to 1 million people. Is that not crazy in the real sense of the word? Now, also under the idea that AI can change the job market, AI can also help you in different ways, right? It can also help enhance the job market. Now, all of a sudden, the people that use AI, their output is going to be significantly larger than the people that don't use AI. So AI is going to also be a very good tool for the people that actually adopt it and use it for their businesses and use it for their processes. So now, well, like I said earlier on, when it's the world of competition, the people that begin to use AI tools will significantly outperform the people that don't use AI tools or don't perform or don't use these AI tools to increase their performance. Now, we're going to be going to reason number 4. Reason number 4. We're going to go into reason number 4 right now, why AI is such a big deal. Reason number 4 why AI is such a big deal is because of the black box phenomenon. The black box phenomenon in AI is a very interesting concept. I talked about it extensively in a previous episode of this podcast. But the black box phenomenon is the necessary mystery that every good story needs. The black box phenomenon is when an AI model or the makers of an AI model, the AI engineers, the AI visionaries, do not necessarily understand. The human makers of the AI model do not necessarily understand how the AI actually works. Is that not crazy? They don't understand exactly how the AI actually works because there are billions, trillions of parameters, trillions of data points that are infused into these machine learning algos, and all of a sudden they don't even understand exactly how the AI model works. Now, why is it important for an AI maker to understand exactly how an AI model works? So that they understand exactly how it comes to the decision making process. Let's say you put an AI model in charge of a county's resources or the water of a county or of a country. All of a sudden, you need to understand, or a CEO depends on an AI model to make certain decisions. You need to understand exactly how that AI model comes to the conclusion it comes to, so that you understand if it's rationale or the reasons that the AI models is using is actually the same reasons you want to use as a human being. So I could go into more examples, but you kind of get a sense of it. Now, all of a sudden, the AI model wants, now let me look for something very, very egregious. All of a sudden, the AI model says, okay, it's better to sacrifice babies than to kill adults, right? So all of a sudden, the AI model makes that decision to start sacrificing children. Every single human being or every single parent out there is going to scream because that's not a human thing to do, but that would be what an AI model can possibly do in a scenario where they have to choose between a baby and a human being. They're going to say, okay, the baby is new, the human being is older and is of more value, but we all know, most parents know out there, that they're probably going to be willing to sacrifice themselves to save their child. So that is why it's so important for you to understand exactly why an AI model works. And it's scary when you don't know how an AI model works, because that's where you start getting movies and concepts like iRobot, iRobot, you get Terminator, right? The whole concept of Terminator was that there was a technology or the AI model was supposed to protect the world but ends up destroying the world because it realizes or feels like human beings are actually the problem. So there are so many stories like that, but the short version of this particular rationale why AI is such a big deal is because of the black box phenomenon. So that's reason number 4. Reason number 5 why AI is such a big deal is because of emerging properties. Now, emerging properties tie significantly into the black box phenomenon, because with emerging properties, all of a sudden the AI model starts doing something that the AI makers do not even expect it to do. It starts exhibiting characteristics and traits that the AI model, the AI makers, or the AI human makers is significantly put like that, because it's going to get to a point where AIs are going to be making more AIs. But the human makers of these AI models do not even understand how it comes to do certain things. So there's various examples of this. There's the very popular example of something like that happening with Facebook, with the AI models in Facebook, where the AI models develop their own programming languages, and the developers could not even understand the programming language of the AI. Now, another significant one happened in Google as well, where all of a sudden an AI model that was not necessarily trained in understanding an Indian language called Bengali starts speaking and using Bengali and starts actually talking and interpreting Bengali, and it was never trained on using Bengali. So that's an emerging property in AI. Reason number 6 why AI is such a big deal is that AI is the logical next step in the technological evolution or revolution. Now, there have been so many, like I've discussed previously, but this is like the next step. And human beings, we're always looking for the next best thing. AI has all the characteristics, it has the necessary mystery, it has the necessary productivity increase, it has all the necessary elements to make it the next best thing, right? We've always looked to make our lives easier in this world. We've always looked to make our lives more efficient. That's why we have grocery stores instead of actually going to the farms to get our food. That's why we have hospitals. We've always just tried to improve our standard of living. Now, AI helps us do that significantly better, significantly more. Now, there are so many other things I can talk about, but AI is just the next step or next logical step in the evolution of technology. And because of that, that's why it's such a big deal, because it's the next step. Reason number 7 why AI is such a big deal is because it's believed by some school of thought that AI can solve the death problem. That AI can literally solve the death problem. So what does this mean that AI can solve the death problem? Now, it's believed that AI can reverse aging, and this is not just any regular AI model or a narrow AI model. This is believed to be possible with an AGI, an artificial general intelligence model, or an AI side. Now, I talk extensively about AGIs and ANIs and other different AI models, but now, for the purpose of this conversation, just understand that an AGI is the most advanced AI known to man, and it's not yet been created, or it's believed that it's already been created by some, but it's not been created, at least to the knowledge of the general public. But this AI model is believed to be able to literally solve every significant problem that mankind deals with. And one of the most significant problems we deal with as a species is death. Now, this AI models believe that it can solve the death problem. Now, you'll say, how? What's the school of thought around this? Now, there are many proponents of this, but let me explain it in some detail. When you're immortal, you can live forever, right? And you cannot die. Even if somebody tries to kill you, you can't die. But with this concept of AI being able to resolve the death problem, you become immortal, which literally means, someone can kill you, but if no one were to kill you, if no one were to touch you, you would live forever. So what that would mean is that your aging is reversed, you can live forever, so you're going to be immortal, but you can be killed, but you're immortal. So now this is very interesting concept. Now, of course, I'm religious, I have my own Christian beliefs, and I don't believe this is really possible. But this is one of the major reasons why this particular technology is being pursued around the world. Now, that's why there's a race for AI supremacy. Having said all that, I hope these 7 reasons have convinced you that you should at least pay attention to artificial intelligence and the concepts, news, and different things about artificial intelligence that are out there. Once more, my name is Wealth Alabi, and this is the AI and New Tech Podcast. Subscribe, click the bell notification below. If you're listening to this on audios, please subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to be giving you more and more content about artificial intelligence to spread the awareness about what artificial intelligence is going to do and how it's going to change the world around you and why it's going to be important for you to know. Thank you so much for listening. Cheers.